चलिए आपकी चाल।
वाह भाई साहब, क्या चाल चले। वैसे चाल तो ठीक है, लेकिन हवेली काफी बढ़िया बनाई है भाई साहब आपने।
अब भाई हवेली का क्या है, भगवान की कृपा और पंडित जी का आशीर्वाद।
वो तो
बाबूजी प्रसाद दीजिए।
अरे रामलाल, प्रसाद किस बात का भाई?
3 धाम की यात्रा में गया था।
3 यात्रा किस बात की?
पंडित जी ने कहा था कि पुत्र प्राप्ति होगी, इसलिए।
अच्छा हाँ, आपके पास तो 3 बेटियां थी।
जी बाबू।
संपत्ति किसके पास जाती है आपकी?
जी बाबूजी, बदनसीबी मेरी।
चलिए खैर, देखते हैं पुत्र होता है या नहीं। वैसे पंडित जी,
हाँ बेटा।
मैं सोच रहा था, बूढ़ा तो मैं भी हो ही गया हूं अब भगवान कब अपने पास बुला ले। इतनी बड़ी हवेली खड़ी कर रखी है, वो किसकी हो जाएगी?
देखो बेटा, मनुस्मृति में ऐसा लिखा है, पत्नी, बेटी और मजदूर का संपत्ति में कोई अधिकार नहीं है। लेकिन यज्ञवल्क्य स्मृति में लिखा हुआ है कि औरतों का जायदाद में हक है। परंतु अपना समाज जो है वो मनुस्मृति का पालन करता है, इसलिए संपत्ति तो पुत्र को ही मिलेगी।
चलिए बाबूजी, मैं चलता हूँ, भाभी जी का कुछ काम है।
भाभी जी का काम? अरे रुकिए रुकिए, भाभी जी का काम हमारे आराम से ज्यादा आवश्यक नहीं है। आप यहीं बैठिए, भाभी जी अपना काम देख लेंगी।
अब औरतों के काम के लिए भी नौकर कब से रहने लगे?
सही कहा भाई साहब आपने। वैसे हमारा पुत्र कहाँ है?
बाबूजी
अरे बेटा, कैसे हो?
बाबूजी बस बढ़िया।
जीते रहो बेटा, जीते रहो।
अभी बस खेत से आया था मैं।
खैर तुम्हें ये तो पता है ना, बाप का बुढ़ापा आ गया है।
नहीं बाबूजी, ऐसी बात
पूरी हवेली की चिंता तुम्हें ही करनी होगी। तुम्हारी माँ का इसमें कोई अधिकार तो है नहीं। और वही हाल तुम्हारी बहन का। कब आपकी शादी हो जाए, कब वो पढ़ाई हो जाएगी, उसमें हमारा कोई हाथ नहीं है। तुम्हें ही ख्याल रखना होगा हर चीज का। और भाई साहब, फसल तो अच्छी हुई है इस बार।
आओ मंदिर पे सोचे सुना के ले चलो, कंगन दिलाना थी तुम्हें। चलिए।
अरे देवियो, आप लोग कहाँ चल दी? बैठिए बैठिए।
प्रणाम पंडित जी।
अरे बैठिए, पंडित जी कहीं भागे नहीं जा रहे हैं। कहाँ जा रही हैं आप लोग इतनी सुबह सुबह?
सोचा मुन्नी को जरा सुना के ले जाओ, जरा कंगन और बालियां दिलाना थी, सोचा मैंने।
कंगन की जरूरत मुन्नी को क्या? शादी के बाद तो पढ़ाई हो जानी है। संपत्ति सारी आपकी हमारी है, हमारे बाद हमारे बेटे की है। तो आप क्या करेंगी कंगन का?
नहीं, हमारे किसी उपयोग के नहीं है, तो बस सोचते हैं मुन्नी को कुछ दिला दूं, उसके हाथ ऐसे खाली खा लेते हैं, अच्छा नहीं लगता वो। कोई बात नहीं। अगर
भाई आप एक चीज देखिए, साफ साफ बता दे रहा हूँ, घर की औरतें और बेटियां घर से बाहर जाएं हमको अच्छा नहीं लगता है। आपका काम चूल्हे तक सीमित है, वहीं तक रखिए आप अपना काम, समझिए आप। और वैसे भी संपत्ति में कोई अधिकार आप लोग का है नहीं, पंडित जी पहले ये बात साफ कर चुके हैं। सोने वगैरह की चिंता हम देख लेंगे, आप घर में रहिए, अपना काम देखिए, समझिए आप।
जैसा
जा सकती हैं आप।
प्रणाम पंडित जी। चल मुन्नी, चल घर चल।
और भाई
All rise. Case number 243 between the parties Shyam Bharadwaj versus Shikha Bharadwaj in the family court.
Much obliged, Your Lordship. The case here is very simple. On 1st January 1977, there was a road accident in which my client's elder brother, his wife, and their 2 children died. Now this lawsuit here is regarding all the background information regarding the property here.
जज साहब, हमारी सारी जायदाद पुश्तैनी है, हमारे बाप दादा के जमाने से चली आ रही है। हमारा भाई और हम साथ में मिलकर खेत चलाया करते थे, हमारी हवेली भी है। अब हमारे भाई के पास सारी पुश्तैनी जायदाद हमें मिलनी चाहिए।
As you can understand from the statement of my client, Your Lordship, that all the property here which is being dealt with is co-partially in nature. Therefore, on the death of the deceased person here, all the property should devolve upon the remaining male co-parties, which in this matter is only my client. So therefore, I don't see much contention here, and I would request Your Lordship to kindly pass an order with regard to the same.
opposing counsel, what do you have to say with regard to this?
Thank you, Your Lordship. I would like to point out here that the property of the deceased male and the female would devolve upon the illegitimate daughter or son had that been the case. And in this case, the illegitimate daughter being my client Shikha, whose father happened to have passed away in that fateful accident which happened a few weeks back. So here the property would be transferred to my client here. According to section 8, read with section 9 and 10 of the and schedule 1 of the Hindu Succession Act, the illegitimate daughter comes under class 1 category of the male's property. This aspect is also covered under section 15 subclause 1A of the Hindu Succession Act itself, and hence I don't see any point that what is the cause of contention here, because all these sections, all these acts rightly point out that my client Shikha here should get all the property rights.
Counsel, what is the right of illegitimate daughter in 1976 amendment?
Your Lordship, a child here gets the property of the deceased father after the 1976 amendment. The only requirement of that transfer being that the father should have died before the year 1976, which I see is getting completely fulfilled here.
Counsel, what do you mean by child in 1976 amendment?
Your Lordship, the act itself is quite vague on this, but I feel it covers both the aspects, both the son and the daughter itself.
I object. I would like to object on this point, Your Lordship. As we all know, co-parentage is primarily understood to be the right which is devolved upon the male lineage only, as has been stated by Mullah in his authoritative book. And also in various case laws, also in Venugopal University of India, which is a Supreme Court judgment on this relevant matter, the case clearly states that co-parentage devolves upon 3 successive lineages. So therefore, what I understand here that the amendment which has been made in 1976 with regards to the rights of a legitimate child, they do not extend to co-parentage property, and co-parentage property can only be devolved upon the male illegitimate child, which is not the case in this situation here. In this situation, the child is female, and therefore the co-parentage property will henceforth will not devolve upon the
Counsel,
sex.
before you proceed, what are the different types of properties in this matter? Can anyone know?
Your Lordship, as I can recollect, the total value of the properties is around rupees 500 crore. And they can be broadly classified into properties of 3 natures. One which are from the husband's side, that is the husband's family. One which originate from the wife's family, the wife of the deceased. And one which is a self-acquired property of the wife itself. Those are the 3 broad classifications of the property.
Opposing counsel?
Okay, counsel. Also in the schedule submitted before us, there is a property from father's side of deceased woman, and the fact here shows that the brother of deceased is still alive. So what about his right?
Thank you, Your Lordship. As my opposing counsel has rightly pointed out a few moments back, that there are basically 3 kinds of property under dispute here. The first one being the co-partnership property in the Mitakshara joint Hindu family. The second one being the self-acquired property of the women, deceased women here. And the third one being the property acquired from the father's side. Now, Your Lordship, I would like to submit on behalf of my client here that I personally don't think that there is any concept of revisionary property which needs to be involved here. Reason being that the property received by the women, which is my client here, as a virtue of being the legal heir, would devolve upon my client only according to section 15 subclause 1A of the Hindu Succession Act, which states that upon death, the property would devolve upon the son and daughters of the predeceased son. It does not at all matter if the daughter or the son is an illegitimate son or daughter or is a natural heir or is a in the normal course legal heir. So I personally think that my client here has all the rights in this property, and also according to section 16 subclause 1, those in entry 1 of section 15 subclause 1 of Hindu Succession Act shall be preferred over those coming in any succeeding entry as well. So I think that the case is very much clear here that there is nothing as such of a revisionary property being involved in this case. Thank you, Your Lordship.
Counsel, you have any further submissions to make?
No, Your Lordship, now we would request Your Lordship to kindly pass the judgment as soon as possible.
So, according to the submission before this bench, reversionary principle is clearly not applicable here. since the daughter is alive. Moreover, in the case of Tulsa Rama versus Shisha Reddy, Supreme Court held that 1956 Act impedes the shackle placed on Hindu women over the property and her status is at par with the men. Also, when Section 14 is read with Section 15, the property of female dying intestate shall devolve according to the rules set out in Section 14 as clearly mentioned by the opposing co-counsel. And according to Section 16(1), those in entry 1 shall prevail over any other succeeding category. In this case, the predeceased son, daughter's right will prevail over the right of the heir of the husband. Though she won't have any co-parsonage right, since the co-parsonage right is available to males only.
Okay, so adding to my brother's right, Section 8, 9, 10, along with Schedule 1 of Hindu Succession Act, the property of male would devolve upon the class 1 legal heirs, in this case, Shikha, and not upon Shyam. But the co-parsonage property would devolve according to the Mitakshara joint family system. In this case, the heir of the deceased, that is Mr. Shyam, would get the property over Shikha because even after 1976 amendment, illegitimate daughter is not entitled to the co-parsonage property.
Now Naresh is going to tell us about some of the changes brought about by the 2005 amendment in the Act.
So after 1956 Act, daughters were given right in self-acquired property. They were deprived of the right in co-parsonage property. 2005 amendment brought changes in Section 6, Clause 1, and daughters were given equal right in co-parsonage property by birth along with the self-acquired property.
Adding on to what Naresh said, the second major change in the 1956 Hindu Succession Act of 1956 was that Section 23 of the HSA was removed, under which the daughters did not have any property right, as they only had a residency right. But now, as Section 23 has been removed, they even have the right to separation.
Okay, moving on. Now Purvesh is going to tell us something about how the amendments were made and is going to elaborate further on this point.
Okay, so deleting the gender discriminatory of Section 4.2 of the Act, Section 4.2 exempted from the purview of the HSA significant in agricultural land, inheritance of which was subject to the state laws, which was really silent. Since India is an agricultural country, hence devolution should be made non-discriminatory. Thus, 2005 Amendment Act omitted Section 4.2.
Moving on, now Mrigank is going to tell us something about the operation of the Act, whether it's prospective or retrospective.
With regard to the retrospective operation of the Act, Karnataka High Court in the case of Prakash vs. Survati heard that the 2005 amendment would be applicable retrospectively, but recently Supreme Court overruled this case and held that despite amendment being a social legislation, it won't have retrospective effect. Now the condition is that if the father dies before 2005 amendment came into force, the daughters won't be eligible for ancestral property.
Okay, moving on. Now Shikhar is going to tell us how 174th Law Commission report deals with this Act and its various aspects.
So basically the main premises of the 174th Law Commission report is that under Section 15(1)(a), there is a uniform and absolute condition and stipulation as to which the property of a Hindu female would be devolved if she dies intestate. Since there are certain conditions in Section 15(1)(a), 15(1)(b), thereon and therefore into Section 15(1)(d). So basically the main contention here arises is wherein the female receives the property from her husband or a father-in-law and she dies intestate. So the main condition in this Law Commission report is that the only devolution goes to the heirs of the husband only. Here the question comes with regards to the equitable distribution of property, which should be given to both the heirs, both from the paternal side of the deceased widow in this case, and both to the heirs of the husband as well. So that is there from the 174th Law Commission report.
Moving on, now Pandey's Harshvardhan here, is going to tell us something about the misuses of this Act.
Okay, so just like everything around us, this amendment in particular is also not just about the good things. It has some drawbacks, some major drawbacks as well. Like a major thing which I personally feel and is happening around us too much is, say, two people are married. Now, after a couple of years, the girl, she decides to take divorce. And now how this starts affecting the property is that this is actually indirectly affecting the property now, because now she has to be given some maintenance and all the alimony and everything. But technically, all this actually comes into picture because of that particular divorce, and all these property should have actually could have been used for the benefit of the parents of the husband here. It's also not that it is affecting just one party. Sometimes it can be the other way around as well. Like recently, I came through a case which happened in Bombay, I guess, where a husband, he for some reason kicks out his wife out of the house. And now this particular wife who has been kicked out, she along with her mother, she starts a small enterprise which a couple of years down the line turns out into a big success. Now what happens? The wife is dead, and technically, like according to all the moral constraints and everything, the mother here should have got all that property because she was the one who was with the wife here in all the thick and thin. But according to this Amendment Act, all the property that passes on to the husband, who was actually the reason behind all those sufferings coming to these two parties. So in this way, I think it's also a major, like these kind of things are a big hurdle in the way as well.
Moving on, now Siddhant will conclude this podcast by stating any further.
To what Harshvardhan said, I would like to continue but not to misuses of the act. Now the first point is the illegitimate children of the woman's husband. Now he is not the child of the woman, but he gets the property rights as per section 15, barring the other rightful claimants. Now this is very discriminatory. The second misuse and the point which I would like to raise is that though the daughter gets right in the co-pastoral property after the 2005 amendment, the shares of other co-pastories is reduced to much greater extent. Now as we all know that daughter marries into another family, goes there, so the rights of the widows and the other dependents gets reduced. So I think this section also